This week's episode of Frieren literally moved me so emotionally over just a birthday because Stark, being one of my favorite characters we have in this show, just such a genuine guy, someone who I feel like isn't that stereotypical proud warrior or overly flirtatious warrior. No, he's just a good dude who feels deep down that he's a failure or not good enough. And this journey is really going to open his eyes just as much as this will do for Frieren in terms of valuing different experiences she's already had and new ones that she's making along the way. But the idea that he thought he never had a birthday present, that he just wasn't respected or valued, I like the idea of his initial conversation with Firm just starting off as like he just never had it celebrated, no one liked him. Then kind of being like, well, I guess my brother was different. But I'm also a failure because I ran away when my brother needed me. But by the end, the full picture is there. His brother was always great to him. His brother always gave him a birthday present because a sign of respect from warriors is a big Hamburg steak. And the fact that Eisen, he wasn't going to be explaining, too well, especially given that between these two, it's just the communication wasn't there. But the fact that all his life he was getting birthday presents, his birthday was being celebrated, and there were those genuine connections, the fact that his birthday just ended in that way was honestly emotionally moving and really touched me. It was brilliant. It was so well done. And this is why I keep hyping up this show, because it's that amazing. It's that much of a 10 out of 10. Full live reaction, episode 12 though, over on my Patreon. If you would like to see that, head on over there and consider supporting. This was a great episode. I think every episode is a refreshing change of pace, but this one is really cool because there's two big moments that really sold me on it. The first of which is the sword and the stone, and the idea of a fake hero, and then of course it's everything to do with Stark's birthday. Do you want to touch upon the sword and the stone briefly first? I thought that was very interesting. So according to the legend that the hero Himmel, who ended up defeating the big demon lord, came back, ultimately he pulled the sword of the stone, 80 years ago, give or take? But in fact, he never did. It was a lie. And I think what's interesting is I can't remember the last time I've seen an anime story go this direction where if you're going on a big epic adventure, you gotta go fight the big evil, you usually get something to do so, whether that's a legendary spell, or in this case, a legendary sword that can destroy all evil. The fact that the man who led the party that actually destroyed the big evil wasn't worthy, maybe couldn't actually pull it out, maybe no one can ever pull it out because maybe it's destined to never do so, like it's a spell that can't be broken. But it doesn't really matter because the idea that he was so he wasn't stomping his feet saying, screw you, I don't like this. He simply said, I don't care if I'm a fake hero, I'm gonna get the job done. And then he got the job done. And here's the thing with stories. History is wrote by the victors, right? So a lot of what you might end up reading might not be 100% accurate because, if you do something that is going to be remembered, ultimately you have the ability to craft narratives. Now, Himmel's not the type of guy to do that, but the people who are saved and blessed by him have every opportunity to say, are we gonna sing a ballad, this bard song about a man who went and slayed the demon lord after failing to pull the sword out? No, they're gonna say that man pulled the sword out and went and slayed a demon lord. And that's really interesting, and I think really goes to show that the idea of people at their individual personal levels are bigger than their actions of can they do a magical thing like pull a magical sword from a stone. No, it's the actions of what they do, and that is protect those that they care about, and that's exactly what this party did. And I think it's interesting because the sword's still just there. This isn't a story where it's like we have to solve certain things. Sure, we destroy the monsters that were causing a ruckus. They're always going to be latched on that. Maybe on the way back we can do something, but as it stands, we can't do much about it. It's very interesting. And I think the idea of the birthday stuff was really great because I liked what they did with Fern's birthday, but when you look at Frieren as a character, she's opened up a lot more since that moment. And the idea that, she had good intentions. And honestly, I feel like justice for my boy. He almost had a nude potion. And honestly, he still might have a little bit. Depends if Fern allows it. But the idea that the dissolving clothes potion, her smugness being like, I heard guys like these sorts of things. She had nothing but I'm going to hook my boy up. And every step of the way, Fern's just calling Stark a perv. He has the best intentions. Like when he's doing his grabby hands, he's legitimately saying, I want to carry her so that you don't have to struggle. Like, he's not being like, ooh, I want to smell her or do anything weird. No, he's legitimately like, Mother Dearest is passing out in the snow. I'm physically stronger than you. Let me carry her, and, you can defend with magic need be. And it's really nice to see what they're doing with Frieren and Stark's relationship, because you can tell there's chemistry there, and I think there's an entire possibility that something more romantic could blossom in time with them. But even if not, I genuinely enjoy their friendship, because, like, when he's sitting on the bench being like, that looks like boobs, or that looks like poop, he's just being a child. Like, he has that childlike innocence. He's not being a pervert, but, it kind of ruins the mood for her. And I like the idea of her wanting to get him something. He picks out the most expensive looking bracelet, and she's like, smacks his hand away saying, get the silver, I'm not buying you gold just yet. And then of course we have the recipe for the dinner, and I think it was a very powerful moment. I'm a sucker for a good emotional episode, and it's not that you need emotion to be a character's dying or something tragic happens. It can simply be a man who thought he was a failure. This boy, I think they said he turned 18. The fact that he went his life assuming that just everyone thought of him as worthless. I mean, if we remember, the way he would talk about Aizen is he had a lot of respect for him, but he thought Aizen viewed him as a weak, pathetic warrior. And when he fought the dragon, obviously some of his things opened up. His eyes opened up a bit more to realize that Aizen just had a hard time expressing things thanks to how Frieren would say things. But now with this, the fact that he really thought that no one cared for him, and then, when you have trauma or any sign of PTSD, it doesn't matter how intense it is, for the person who's dealing with those negative emotions, that's all that will be focused. You can have 1,000 people tell you you're amazing, and the one person who tells you to kill yourself is going to be the thing that you probably think of the most that day. And I think that's very similar to him, even though having all those amazing moments like the brother being told, don't train him, he's pathetic, but he still does so anyway. You get his beautiful cloak dirty, he doesn't care. He's like, you have a good swing, let me aid you. He's not, like, even had he not told him to run, the child should run in the moment when demons are approaching, and the adult should protect. That is not something to be ashamed of, but the fact that he forgot and it took that time, just the fact that he had his birthday celebrated both with his brother and his master this whole time without realizing it, I'm surprised the boy didn't just bawl out there. Had he done it, maybe I would have done it too, but internally I was crying at the sweetness that was this episode. Like, this is already a top 10 anime for me. I think by the time we leave Core 2, it might even be a top 5, I don't know, but I love this. I absolutely love this, and it's just the pacing's right, the characterization's right, the adventures, just, I don't give a rat's furry ass what we do in an episode. We pull a sword from a stone, we talk by the fireside, it's all going to be good because the characters feel real. They feel like actual people, and a retracing of your steps journey has never been more exciting than what we're seeing here. Thoughts yourself though down below, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more videos. Channel, like I mentioned, we have a full live reaction over on my Patreon, and hey, while you're there, you also get a video shout out. So today we have Shock Blaster, Michael Barnes, Nugzio, Haruto Yuzuki, Fuzzy, and Pokemon 222 888. So I appreciate the support. So until next time everyone, please take care and have a good one.